Hi guys, welcome back to Unique Trivia. So today I'm going to do a video about how to get an A or an A star in A-level law. So take your pen, take your paper, get ready to make notes because this advice may help you, probably will help you, I hope. I'm going to give you guys tips on how I revised and for my A-levels and why Beatrice, why do you think you're suitable to give us advice on this matter? Well, because I got an A star in A-level law. In an average, I usually got A's throughout my A-level law, although sometimes it went downward. So yeah, it's time to start. Are you ready? The first and most important tip is to believe in yourself. You need to believe that you can do it. If you believe that you can't do it, then obviously you're more likely to give up easily before you even started. Believing in yourself will give you more grit, more determination, more perseverance to continue going. If you believe that you can't do it, then you're not going to do it. But it's not just by believing. There are more steps that you need to have in order to get the grade that you want. There are more steps, but believing is the most important thing. Anything is possible if you believe. Bible verse that refers to that is this one. I don't know it off by heart, so I'm putting it up in the screen. When you commit a mistake, don't just give up and shut down. You should just try to adjust. Try not to make the same mistake until you get to the right path and you get where you want to be. People don't just get good grades because they are smart. They are born smart. To be honest, I don't think no one is born smart like they know everything. The thing is, they study smart. They study consistently. If a student tells you that, oh, I didn't study for the exam, I think I'm gonna fail, but he actually gets an A star, then that he was lying. He actually studied. It's not because he was born smart. It's not just like that. You have to study smart. You have to be consistent. You have to be determined. But most importantly, you have to believe in yourself. Believe that you can get the grade. Don't let others discourage you. Not even your teachers or your friends. Because after all, this is your grade. It will help you to go to university. The better the grade, more chance. This is a competition between you and you. So let's say last test you got a C. There is a competition with you to get a B. There's no need to compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to yourself. Work on yourself. Anybody can get good grades, but you need to be the one to make it happen for yourself. And some of you might ask yourself, why should I believe in myself? Why do people believe in themselves? Why? This is because nothing will be achieved if you didn't believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, then you wouldn't give up. You won't give up because quitters never win and winners never quit. Did you notice that? Did you notice? Like let's say in a race, in a 100-meter race or 200-meter race, when they start, Usain Bolt may not be at the front. In fact, he may be the 4th or the 5th. But he didn't give up. He kept running. And at the end, he won the race. He won the race. What would have happened if he gave up? Never ever give up. Believe in yourself. If I gave up, as soon as I got a D or consistently got a C, that means I'm gonna get a U or my A-levels. But I didn't give up. I wouldn't give up. I will keep going, making little improvements each time until I get to where I want to be. Always remember, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Do not put permanent solutions to temporal problems, because to be honest, a struggle, a challenge is not going to last forever. It's not going to last forever. There's no point giving up. Believe in yourself. Never give up. Stay focused. You can do it. That's the first tip. My second tip is to pay attention in class. Because if you don't pay attention in class and then you go home, then you're going to have to learn the whole topic over again because you don't even understand the basics. I tried to leave the classroom learning at least one thing, a sentence that will describe the whole lesson. At least try to leave the class with some general understanding of what the topic is, because it will save you time after school when you're trying to go over the topics. You see, different. So I have a corners like this. So what I did during the class, when the teacher is going over the slides, which is almost the same as the information in the corners, basically have your highlighter, or have like two different color highlighters, one for the titles and for the legal principles, the legal rules, and one for the cases. And also, if there's any extra notes that the teacher said, extra things that the teacher said we should include, then write it in pen. I like colors when I revise, but this is how my highlighted criminal court notes booklets looked and annotated. This is about actus reus and omissions. So an omission typically cannot make you guilty of an offense in England and Wales. However, there are exceptions to this rule. For example, when you're a parent, you have a duty to act as a parent. And then the case Gibson and Proctor, and then we have assumed duty to act, Stone and Davidson, highlighted. You see, to me it's easy to learn this because I literally just learn the yellow thing. Like the main information is highlighted. Every single thing in yellow is a case. And in dark purple is like the titles, and in pink purple is like the main legal rule, the main words that will help me understand the stuff. Another one for murder, the cases are in yellow, the information, the main thing is in pink. But some of you may like it like without being highlighted. Personally, I prefer it being highlighted. That's what I did during class as well as listening to the teacher trying to understand the topic. That's the second tip. And the third tip is, by the way, I have it in my journal, so that's what I'm looking down. The third tip is make revision cards straight after the class if you have time. And I'm going to show you guys how my revision cards look like. These are all my revision cards for A-level law, the lawmaking process, criminal courts. Then we got duty of care, breach of duty, and causation. Then we got psychiatric injury, pure economic loss, and remedies and defenses. Then we got vicarious liability. Then we got occupiers liability 1957, occupiers liability 1984. We got Rylance and Fletcher. Then we got actus reus and mens rea. Then we got fatal offenses. And then this one, which I don't know what the title is non-fatal offenses, which is basically assault, ABH, battery. My main type of revision were flashcards because I find it very helpful. Just write the information at the front and at the back, and then take a sticky note, a post-it note, and then write the questions in the post-it note and stick it in one side. So basically this is how they look. As you can see, that was all the information from the front and from the back. And for this whole revision card, all the questions were in this, so that you don't waste paper, because I don't want to be buying a lot of revision cards just to write like one sentence in the back and have a lot of blank space. That's not what I want. So I used the revision cards. I acted smart, save money, save space. I just wrote on the post-it note and stick it on the corner, and I can take it out if I need to and stick it back in because it's post-it notes. This is how they looked. It's very colorful as well. This is theft and robbery, and I'm going to show you guys how I basically write. It says open for questions. I opened it, and the first question was, what section is theft found under? Well, I know because I revised my revision cards, is section 1 of the Theft Act 1968. Definition of theft is the dishonest appropriation of property belonging to another with the intention to permanently deprive. Then it says, what is the actus reus and mens rea? Well, the actus reus of theft is basically the appropriation of property belonging to another, and the mens rea is dishonesty and intention to permanently deprive. And I know this because I revised it before. That's how I use my revision cards with the questions. And these questions weren't that easy. They were like, what's the definition? Tell me about this topic, and using cases. What happens if da 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 da? What are the exceptions to this rule? I've been reading on Jade's book, a study guide, the only study guide you'll ever need. I haven't finished reading it yet, but she mentioned are desirable difficulty in making your flashcard. Basically, when you're making the questions of the flashcards, make sure that the questions are not too easy. Make sure that the questions in your flashcards aren't like, is mens rea the mental element of a crime? Yes or no? Obviously it's yes, but it's not making you recall the information that you learned. The better thing to do is basically tell me what mens rea means, and then you have to recall that mens rea is basically the mental element of a crime. And also you need to highlight the main bits, and by main bits I mean like the key cases. This is the mens rea for theft, intention to permanently deprive. All the yellow stuff is cases, and cases help me remember like the whole legal rule. That's a way to revise. Making revision cards for me is very, very helpful. Like the main things that I use to revise revision cards are my core notes, highlighted core notes, and I made handmade revision cards. It helped me so much. I was having fun learning, which is very important. If you're just learning like you're forced to learn, like you don't want to learn, how you gonna? You're gonna take time to understand. You're gonna take time to absorb the information. You're gonna take time to inject it into your brain. You don't want it to fly away, to diffuse. You don't want osmosis going on. So to do that, you need to do something which Ali Abdaal, if you know who he is, many people know who he is. I mean, you know who he is. You know who he is, right? And he gave a lot of tips on active recall. And a way to do active recall, maybe using a mind map and just blotting everything out, revision cards, and then having difficult questions. You will know what you don't know and what you know. Another way of active recalling is basically speaking out loud when you're revising. Like for example, that's what I did. I just took my revision cards, stood up or sat down, and I was just leaning on the chair and just teaching nobody. Like I was looking at my curtains, just because my table was in front of my curtains. I was just looking at my curtains, just speaking like.
Battery is when D intentionally or recklessly causes V to, no, when D intentionally or recklessly applies physical or unlawful force, physical or unlawful force or violence, physical or unlawful force on V. And these can be any touch, however slight. Victim V doesn't have to feel any harm. It doesn't have to hurt him. Any little touch, like, ooh, that's battery already. If he did it out of anger, like because he was angry, don't touch me, if you touch me, I swear down, don't touch me, and you just touch him, that's battery. If you did it out of anger, it's battery. Say don't touch you and you're touching me, what's your problem? But also consent. If I say do not touch me, you look, don't touch me, I told you, I don't like it. Don't touch me, I don't know you, don't touch me. If you touch somebody in here, like, or here, no matter how hard it is. Like for example, imagine a stranger just walks up to you and touches you, goes like this. A stranger. I said, don't touch me, don't touch me. I said, but it doesn't hurt. I just really like this, it doesn't hurt. But that's still battery. Imagine. The thing is normal. Now, you can't be touching nobody. Even if it doesn't hurt, you can't touch nobody like that without consent. Or without, and also indirect. Indirect was not tricky to learn. And by the way,
that's how I'm studying. I'm talking to nobody. I'm literally talking to my camera right now. Speaking and acting like I have a class. Now let's move to the next tip, which Ali Abdaal also mentioned in his YouTube channel, which I really understand and really made a lot of sense. It opened my mind. Like I started understanding. I was like, oh, it is true, my brother. It is true. You're spitting the facts. How come I didn't know this before? Well, I knew, but I didn't think of it in the way that Ali Abdaal thought about it. Let me tell you what spaced repetition is. Well, let Ali Abdaal speak instead of me. Ali Abdaal, what is spaced repetition?
The idea behind spaced repetition is that instead of cramming things into a single day, we spread out our revision over time and we review topics, ideally by active recall, at particular intervals.
You see, it makes sense. And then he talked about the forgetting curve. Each time you revise a topic, in the first day you remember, second day you start remembering less. Maybe you remember 20%. The third day you already forgot every single thing. However, if from the second day you revise it again, then you're more likely to forget it like completely in a longer period of time. Maybe instead of 3 days, maybe you'll forget it completely in 6 days if you don't revise it again. However, then maybe in the 4th day you revise it again, and then this time it will take you 12 days to forget it completely. So spaced repetition is very important. The more times you consistently revise the topic, like the main law topic, then the more likely you're going to be able to remember it, and the more likely it's going to stick to your long-term memory. It's not about studying hard, studying a lot. have to study smart. If you already know the topic, then why are you studying it again?
Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
If you already know it like off by heart, then why are you studying it again? Remove that off your list and start focusing on others. You need to organize yourself. How did I organize myself? Well, I used my planner, my journal, because I had a journal. And sadly, I left it at home. Let's say I have paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. Yeah. So I put this page is all about paper 1. This page is all about paper 2. And the next page is all about paper 3. Let's imagine this is red. Okay. So this is gonna be red. Red. Let's imagine this is amber. Amber. And let's imagine this is green, because of course it is green. Yeah. So there it is, red, amber, and green. The ones that you know the basics of, like, you know, like the main thing, like at least you could get like maybe 40%, then make it amber. And the ones that you know like off by heart, make them green. So let's say that, yeah, you get it. Or another easier way, basically, if you know the topic of mens rea off by heart, you tick it. If you know the topic of assault off by heart, you tick it. If you don't, move on until you know it off by heart. That's when you tick it. If you know the topic of ABH off by heart, you tick it. Yep. If you know the topic of manslaughter off by heart, you tick it. If you don't tick it. And just basically, your goal will be to have it all ticked. And this tick, it represents green. Basically, you know it off by heart, like you know your name. Practice, practice, practice. Especially with problem questions like scenarios. You probably are practicing already like in class. Because during my 6th form, we had like practice questions to do, and then the teacher will go over them like every single lesson. And then I did some practice after class, because there are still some exam papers that you can find online. Or you can ask your teacher to give you a scenario, and then you send them your answer and they mark it for you. You just need to use the IRAC rule. I means identify the issue. R means what is the legal rule. So what is the rule? The main rule that you need to apply, yeah? Then application. Use the facts of the case. C is the conclusion. So what happens? Is she criminally liable? Yes, so those are all my tips. And let's recap what I said. The most important one is believe in yourself. You need to believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. Okay? Pay attention in class too. Pay attention in class so you save yourself time after school. Make revision cards for yourself after the lesson. Or you could do it during lunchtime in the library. Think about active recall. Think very well about that. Very important, active recall and spaced repetition. Ali Abdal, watch his videos as well. It will help you. It will help you understand what this means. He also has many tips on how to study. Hopefully you guys find it helpful, and hopefully you guys do very good on your A-level law and you get an A and A star. And do not leave your revision to last. Don't start revising for an exam the last day. If you want to decrease the time you're spending revising, then you have to study smarter. Study smarter is studying more productively. Study more productively, you learn more and you understand more in a shorter period of time. I guess that's what we want. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and do not forget to subscribe. Bye.